The Game Time Network is brought to you by Matt Gaddis of State Farm, the official insurance partner of the Game Time Network. Whether it's auto, home, renters, or life insurance, Mac has you covered with trusted service and personalized support. So make sure to reach out to Matt Gaddis for all of your insurance needs. And we are also powered by our friends at Wire to the Nines. For specialists in low voltage install and repairs, if you need security systems, networking, wiring, or upgrades done right, contact Wire to the Nines at wiretothenines@yahoo.com. Big thanks to Matt Gaddis and Wire to the Nines for supporting the Game Time Network. Pull it up right now. These aren't official yet, but reading Sham's tweet, multiple sources with knowledge of Thursday's GM meeting, as well as late January competition meeting told ESPN that the following concepts have been discussed to curb tanking. First round picks can be protected only top 4 or top 14 plus. Lottery odds freeze at the deadline or a later date. No longer allowing a team to pick top 4 in consecutive years and or after consecutive bottom 3 finishes. Teams can't pick top 4 the year after making the conference finals. I wonder who that's directed towards. Lottery odds allocated based on 2-year records. Lottery extended to include all play-in teams. Flatten odds for all lottery teams. So I want to start my opening monologue about these horrible, well, not all of them are horrible, right? There's a couple in here that I don't mind. There's some in here that are blatantly just flat out stupid. So I want to start with this. Before this came out, there was a talk about, what if we did a tournament? What player is going to play for somebody else to take his starting job, to take his spot on the bench, to take, just take his spot? Didn't make sense at all. So I'm glad that didn't happen. But some of these rules are directly targeted at teams. And one of these teams, it's a blatant call out. One of these rules is blatantly about the Indiana Pacers, right? And I'm going to pull it up again because everybody on Twitter said the same thing. Some people are like, 2 of these rules are directly towards the Pacers. Teams can't pick top 4 of the year after making the conference finals. So if these rules were intact, Indiana wouldn't even have a chance at the pick because they got to the conference finals and then Tyrese gets hurt in the finals. That doesn't make any sense. It makes no sense at all. My problem with this league right here and then is, my issue is the Jazz and the Pacers got fined for tanking. Are we not going to pay attention to the Sacramento Kings that just told 3 of their players, hey, go get season-ending surgery because we're 12-48 or something? But the Pacers and the Jazz are the ones. Pacers didn't even care. Props to the Pacers. They saw these rules and you said, you know what? We're going to sit Siakam. We're going to sit him. We're going to sit everybody. And then we're going to lose back-to-back games to the Wizards. And now we've got the second best odds. And you know what's still crazy is this is only going to get worse because I'm telling you right now, with the way things are trending and the way Adam Silver is acting about tanking all of a sudden, I know Daryl is fairly confident that the Pacers remain with the top 4 pick, but the way that the actions of the league are happening, it goes back to Cooper Flagg. It goes back to Wembanyama. The lottery is rigged to the finest. It doesn't, at this point, nobody can tell me otherwise. I mean, look at it. Lottery extended to include all play-in teams. He wants to give the Miami Heat a top player. That's what he wants. He wants to make sure all his big markets, Chicago, Miami, he's trying to get those teams back in the limelight. He doesn't care about Sacramento, Brooklyn. It must have been burning him alive that Indiana had this playoff run and knocked the New York Knicks out of the finals because, fun fact, New York is one of his favorite teams, not if his favorite team in the NBA. Just like David Stern's favorite team was the Los Angeles Lakers. But the Lakers, I wouldn't say have gotten any special treatment from Adam Silver in the last couple of years, other than the year in 2019 where they jumped up to number 4, so right outside of the Zion Williamson, John Morant, RJ Barrett 3 picks. Now, if they would have gotten to the top 3, there's a conversation, but there isn't because they traded the pick to the Pelicans to get Anthony Davis. But that kind of coincides, right? My whole point here is that these rules are blatantly horrible. Some of these rules aren't that bad. Lottery odds freezing at the deadline makes no sense because if you include play-in teams, you realize more teams are just going to attempt to tank, right? It doesn't make any sense. Why would you add the play-in teams? Because now there's going to be some teams that are in the play-in, Miami, that are just going to be like, well, we can tank now because the league's throwing us a bone. You're throwing these play-in teams a bone instead of them having to figure out, hey, how can we stop being mediocre? Tanking is just a part of the sport. The NFL just, the Browns suck, right? The Browns have always sucked. What does the league need to do? The league isn't like, oh, well, Cleveland's tanking. We need to do something about this. No, because they know Cleveland's a bad organization. Let the bad organizations be bad organizations, but don't try to manipulate to where teams that are middle of the pack or a bigger market and are middle of the pack, and you're trying to get them up in the lottery and shut down these middle pack teams. How do you expect anyone to get good if you're still trying to manipulate the lottery like you did for Dallas, like you did for San Antonio, and basically what you did for the Lakers in 2019 to acquire Anthony Davis? It's all manipulation. And I've been told, oh, the lottery isn't rigged. The lottery isn't rigged. The lottery isn't rigged. When your favorite team drops down in the lottery this year so some major market can go up, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. When the Miami Heat next year in the draft, if these rules apply, if the Miami Heat jump up next year, I don't know what to tell you. I truly don't know what to tell you. These are horrible rules. Adam Silver's got to go. Adam Silver has to go. David Stern had his whatnots and what so, but you under David Stern, under the Ewing lottery, because I went and did some research, not a lot of rigged lotteries. Some small market teams got number one picks, right? So to me, I mean, just what are we doing? What are we doing?
It started, Isaiah. And you make great points. It started though with the integrity of the league well before this. This was happening way back when Houston had the number one pick back to back when they got Akeem and Ralph Sampson. The talk was, hey, they're tanking. Houston tanked back then. And tanking isn't anything new. They tried to put these things in place with the lottery. Oh, this will fix it because now we've got a natural lottery and we don't know who's going to win. Other than the fact that the people who put the balls in the canister or put the envelopes in the canister, they know.
I'm sorry, right? Eli. It just came to mind. I apologize.
And so with that said, the challenge, for me in all of this NBA, like I've said before on this show platform, the NBA is turning into the WWE. All this pre-existing, to your point, setting these teams up to win who are big, larger markets and they'll want to be eyes on, right? i.e. Miami. Why would you include play-in teams in a lottery, which we've seen a play-in team always get to the finals, and just so happened that team was the Miami Heat. So you have so to that point, that's why I was sitting there listening. I'm like, man, he made a good point. Damn, that's another good one. Damn, that's another good point because it's ridiculous.
It makes no
All
sense.
you're doing is trying to quote unquote dissuade tanking. How about you do this, Mr. Crypt Keeper? How about you hold the players and the organization to the standard that are set in the rule book? And that goes from playing, that goes from tanking, that goes from flopping, that goes from disrespect of players. That means fighting, everything else. It starts all the way back there. So if this isn't going to fix the NBA, this is only going to manifest the problem that we already have. Why? Because you don't have the balls, Mr. Crypt Keeper, to hold those players accountable, those organizations accountable on a day-to-day basis. Not this, oh, everybody's complaining. So let me make a comment about tanking. It doesn't matter what you say about tanking, Crypt Keeper, because this isn't going to help. And to your point, Isaiah, this is an absolute direct hit on the Pacers. They went from a conference finals run and finals run that no one thought they would have because the way they played well together. Then all of a sudden you have your best player gets hurt. Then you have multiple injuries, guys out all season long, and you're going to try to have the audacity to say, if you make the finals of the year, you know how teams change in a year? You want to talk about the Golden State Warriors of 2020, Mr. Commissioner? You want to talk about the San Antonio Spurs with the Tim Duncan deal, with the Wemby deal, with the David Robinson deal, Houston in 83 and 84 back-to-back with Akeem and Ralph. We can talk about this, Mr. Commissioner, but it's not just a 2026 problem. This is a problem that goes back into the 80s. So don't try it now because people are watching and we're calling you BS all day long and twice on, especially on Game Time Sunday.
And what makes me even more mad about all this, right, is you're going to flatten the odds even more. This is what started this problem in the first place when you put the odds for the top three teams at 14%. You've made the lottery a crapshoot. We've got teams with 1.8% jumping up in the lottery to get the number one pick. It makes
How does that happen? It makes absolutely no sense.
All right. If a team a couple of years ago when it was the 25 and then when it was that system, if a team jumped up from 14 or 14 to 10 up to like 3, that's all. Well, they got a little lucky. But blatantly jumping them up to 1 after they trade their generational talent for an injury-prone Anthony Davis, you grant them the number 1 overall pick. You don't tell me there's no canoodling there. Are we serious? And I've got Tankathon pulled up here because you look at it, right? If we flatten these odds even more, what do you think teams are going to do? Say, well, the odds are flat now. Maybe we shouldn't tank. No, teams are just going to tank even more, especially if you include play-in teams.
It's going to be more teams doing it because they say I've got the same chance as a 10 seed as a 3 seed. They're like, let me now all I need to do is be in the bottom 10. What are we thinking?
I don't understand the logic here. And Adam Silver, and I love how before they even had all these meetings, what does Adam Silver want to do, guys? Hey, Adam, these teams, the 7th and 8th seeds don't feel that deserve. Let's do a tournament. Oh, okay. Hey, Adam, ratings are down in November. Let's do a tournament. Hey, Adam, these teams, they keep tanking. Let's do a tournament. Oh, no tournament? Oh, all right, we'll have a meeting. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? I like the in-season tournament. I like it. They actively are playing harder in that tournament because you know why? Money talks. That's great. The play-in tournament is stupid, right? I think the only reason I'm enjoying it a little bit here is because in the East, we're not getting the Chicago, Miami, Atlanta Invitational. Right? Chicago's not going to make it. It's going to be the Hornets, and I'm excited to watch the Hornets. My partner in crime isn't the biggest fan of the Hornets, but he can admit they're playing really well right now. Other than the fight with Detroit.
Not only they're playing well, they're surprising a whole lot of people, man. Them dudes, they're balling. I got to give it to them, man. I got to give it to them. I call it what it is.
And like, once again, I'm pulling up Tankathon because if you think Sacramento is really going to have the number 1 pick, you're crazy. The Pacers are actively are giving Adam Silver the middle finger by sitting their players and doing all this. So Indiana may not be in the good graces of Adam Silver at this point.
Hey, let's hit Sacramento again. You mentioned them earlier, and you came off of these fools said, hey, 3 of y'all go have surgeries.
Go get surgery.
Go ahead and do this.
Zach LaVine, Sabonis, but nope, we're not going to find them. We're not going to find them.
Kidding me? Hey, listen, they haven't been fine. Sacramento's been terrible for years. The lottery loves them, but yet no fine. Look at Brooklyn. Look what they're doing. They give away their best player.
Brooklyn. Look, the way he did Brooklyn last year, Brooklyn ain't gonna be up there. Atlanta, though, Atlanta's a prime. Atlanta and Washington and Utah. He saw those teams make moves. He may actively say, you know what? Here's a pick. But you know what? Here's the problem. You got Dallas, you got Chicago, you got San Antonio, you got the Thunder again. The Pacers are in jeopardy with the Clippers pick. Those are all those are all markets right there that he's licking his chops about.
Isaiah, I've said this on this show many times that the NBA owes the Pacers, but I'm really not worrying. I'm starting to change a little bit because this is the Clippers' opportunity to replenish big market. You got LA, the money deal. I still say the Pacers are going to get 1 through 4. I was 100% up until yesterday. I'm 98.6 right now. I'm 98 because I'm telling you, as I look at this and how it shakes out, and
I'm at about 60%.
And here's why: the way the Pacers stuck their middle finger up over the week, I like that. Listen, I love that, and I love that. But man, is that going to cost you? Yep. I'm just now. It's got me thinking. The saving grace though out of this, though, Isaiah, everybody's back next year. The Pacers are still a finals team next year.
Yeah.
Everybody, that's the only saving grace because they've got that young and that good of a team, right? But it would sure be nice to have pick 1 through 4 to go with that group and to grow.
And I know Adam Silver. I mean, man, like just so blatant. Teams can't pick top 4 of the year after making the conference final. Are you serious? You know who this is? This is directed at one organization. Nobody else.
Which means we're fixing 5 through 14. Remember, we're fixing 5 through 14 is what he's saying.
And you know what? There was a report that came out. You know who the biggest contributor to all these rules were? Take one guess. Take one guess, Daryl. Take one guess.
Are we talking franchise or?
Yes. General manager franchise. Take one guess.
Man, that's hard because I want to be mad at the Knicks.
It's not hard. It's not hard. It's one organization.
I want to be, but then I'm a pivot and say Miami.
Exactly. Pat Riley.
Are you serious?
Yes, Pat Riley wants these rules because he's a loser. Pat Riley is the Jerry Jones of this league. He can't acquire big name superstars. I talked about this when we went back to the offseason. And they didn't get Kevin Durant because he didn't want to give up Tyler Herro. He didn't want to give up Jaime Hawkins. He didn't want to give up Haywood Smith or whatever his name was. You're keeping these mediocre second options because you don't want to blow up your whole team. You didn't want to give up your whole roster for Giannis Antetokounmpo. So of course you want the NBA to buy you out or help you out, and so you don't have to give up this roster. Just it's frustrating. It's absolutely frustrating because tanking is a part of sports, right? There's just no point in being mediocre, right? Why be mediocre when you can just tank and get better? Now, there are rules that I do agree with, right? No longer allowing a team to pick top 4 in consecutive years or after consecutive bottom 3 finishes. Yes, that is a good rule. I like that because teams like Brooklyn, team like Sacramento, teams like New Orleans, they're going to be here year over year. They're not going to get any better, I promise you. So if those teams are here 3 years from now and this rule's applied, love it. Beautiful. Because they don't deserve any more top picks if they're going to continue to be garbage year over year. And I can tell you right now, none of those teams are going to be successful in the next 5 years. Maybe New Orleans, right? We can have a conversation about Washington maybe being back here in a couple of years if this whole Trae Young, Anthony Davis thing doesn't work out. But I like that rule. I do think that's not a bad rule for the league because that's a good way to stop tanking with that rule. I think the other way to stop.
Well, you want to do what you can to try it to stop it. But again, to your point, these teams are going to be manipulative and they're going to work the angles, i.e. the injury angle, right? The rest angle, right? Yeah. So yeah. But I want to pivot. Brandon makes a point, right, about the Pacers in next season. And one of the things I've been talking about and pining, I don't remember anybody dying on the heel of Ben Mathurin other than me because he's my roulette buddy. Now all of a sudden, I'm hearing people from every state in the union and every sport saying, "Oh man, what a major mess up that the Pacers made." I don't agree with that. I didn't agree with that then. I don't agree with it now. Ben Mathurin wasn't going to resign with the Pacers because of his contract requirements. I get that. I respect that. Love Ben to death. But with that said, he's going to flourish in LA. Ben is a hell of a player. He's a scorer. He's a very good player. Good dude, good locker room guy, all of that. Did things in the community. But at some point, everybody can't stay, right? And again, I hope Ben Mathurin flourishes in LA. I hope he does great. I hope he signs that 4-year deal plus $100 million that he wants, and he goes on to have a great career. But I understand also, too, that we can't have them all.
Nope.
We can't have them all. And like I say, I'm still 98.6% sure that the Pacers will get 1 through 4. So that'll be an opportunity. But here's the deal. You still got to get the right guy. Yep. Look at Jaden Ivey for Detroit, 5th player pick. He came and get off the bench for the Bulls. So just because you're in that area doesn't mean it's a lock.
Yeah.
I like my man. I like what's going on in the Pacers front office. And I like, what they're trying to do long term by locking guys up. The center position is locked up for the next 3 years. And there's going to be opportunity for other guys to step up. And we'll see. Those young guys have got a lot of playing time this year. And I think it's an opportunity that's going to show and reflect come November.
Yeah.
Jarris Walker has flourished, and he made the Pacers' decision a little easier to let go of Ben this season as opposed to waiting till the summer. Jarris Walker has stepped up. He's gotten more minutes, and he's that guy that's going to be coming off the bench, helping out with that scoring deal because he's 6'8". He can shoot. He can put the ball on the deck. And on top of that, he's having the nerve to rebound better now.
Yeah.
So I'm happy with where the Pacers are. I've been their biggest complainer from probably 2015 to 2021 or so.
Yeah.
But I'm just gonna say, man, I like what they're doing. And after we get the top 4 pick this year, it'll be either AJ or my guy Caleb Wilson. We'll just keep on rolling. That's my thought on that for sure.
And I got one more thing to add. You know, flattening the lottery odds does not make this problem better. You need to rise the odds. You need to make these top 3 picks the most valuable asset that a team could ever acquire. You're making this available. It doesn't make any sense. And like I said, I put it on my Twitter and I said it to Daryl. You started off the show by mentioning it. How can I defend this league when we're making stupid decision after stupid decision, right? I mean, the product is already viewed as soft, weak. The product is viewed as not interesting to watch. It feels like defense is basically non-existent, right? There's harder defense in NBA 2K than there is out there on the court sometimes, right?
But also that's because the rules are that way too. You really can't play the ball like you could. People, you're right. They can't play the defense like they used to. But also too, guys are really not interested in fighting. They do it. They say, "Oh, that was a business decision." This ain't football. No one's gonna go out there to hurt you. There's nothing wrong with getting dunked on. Go out there and try to block a dunk. But guys will stand back. They'll stand back and say, "Oh, no, I'm good."
I don't know how long Adam Silver has left, but there's got to be better changes than this, man. I mean, tournaments and all this other yeehaw stuff is just not going to fix the league. What's going to fix the league is the same thing that we didn't have the show then, but it's the same thing that is talked about in wrestling. It's talked about in any other. Wrestling's the best example, right? WWE was hot over the course of the last 2.5 years, and now they're struggling to sell WrestleMania tickets. You know why? Because it's not that they're not running tournaments. It's not that they're doing all this extra stuff. It's because when people watch the product, they say, this isn't good. I'm not watching this. That's the problem with the NBA. Yeah, you're going to still sell your tickets because people are just basketball fans. At the end of the day, people prefer the NBA game more than they prefer the college game, and it's also vice versa in the other way. People are still going to buy tickets and watch the NBA unless the team is not good. I get it. But the reason that the NFL is just so head and high above everybody else is because the product at the end of the day doesn't feel touched. It doesn't feel manipulated other than the officials. But, we can talk about that at another point. The product still is pretty much pure for the most part. I think people would like less commercials, but, that's a problem with everything right now. The NBA feels manipulated. It feels touched. It just doesn't feel pure, right? It doesn't feel pure at all right now. I wasn't around in the 2000s, but even then, the NBA in the 2000s was still viewed very positively about, right? I think up until we got really, to me, I even think the 2010s wasn't bad until we got to about 2018, right? 2018, from the 2017 to the 2018 season, not only because KD was on the Warriors and it felt like the season was already predetermined, but because of James Harden getting all these fouls at the 3-point line, Steph getting all these fouls. I was on record in the summer saying we just had the best playoffs we've had in maybe, probably since the 3-1 comeback, right? That's just genuinely how I feel. And then we get to this season, and it feels like a complete 180. We went from the best playoffs in years to just what the hell are we doing to make the league better? I'm not saying you got to catch up to the NBA, but for goodness sakes, what? Congratulations, your all-star numbers were up. I don't care about the all-star game. I want the product to be better.
Listen, the all-star game numbers were up out here, and that's fine. I didn't watch one single second.
And to counteract that,
3 games, the skills challenge, and a lot of other things. It's a gimmick. This isn't the circus, okay?
And you were also on NBC, which everybody in America just gets that on their TV. There's a difference. On TNT, you got to pay for it. NBC, you just get the channel. It comes with the basic cable package. So of course you're going to get more viewers.
Let him roll, Brandon. Let him roll. Keep on rolling, baby. Keep on. This is what we do, right?
I'm just. It's hard for me to defend the league, and then we're coming up with stupid rules like these, and some of them, one of these rules is a direct call out on one organization and nobody else.
And I respect you saying that because your first love is not the Pacers. Your first love are the Lakers, right? So with that said, I like your take even better because of that. But I don't want to belabor that point because we listen. I've bashed the NBA, and people say, "Well, Cod, how can you bash the NBA?" And this is year 15 as a season ticket. I can bash what the hell I want because it's my pocket. But
just
to that point,
just because the WWE is a bad product right now, it doesn't mean I'm not watching it still.
hey,
So,
but real quick blurb on WWE also solves because of their ticket pricing, man. Everything is skyrocketing wise, and people are saying, "Listen, I at some point I can't do it."
Ridiculous.
Yeah. That, you know what? That could be another show for us. I want to hit on that because things have changed in the WWE world for sure.
Yeah, well, we can definitely hit on that. I know we got some other stuff we want to talk about, but man, I was gonna make a video on this, and then I was like, you know what? I got to cover the race at Atlanta tonight for after hours, so I was like, I'll just do that, and I'll come on here, and I'm just it's ridiculous. I'm really bothered by it. It's insane what we're trying to do to combat tanking when, you know, especially just out of all the years, we're going to make this year the year where we're going to complain about it. Oh, you know, no, tanking's our huge concern now.
Hey,